I sincerely appreciate the opportunity to address myself to the resolution reported by the House Committee on Rules because it is a most important subject. It is a fact that almost every facet of our daily lives is directly affected by research and development. Certainly, within the military establishment, today's research and development will give rise to tomorrow's weapons and will determine our ability to defend ourselves against the hostile forces on this earth which would destroy us as a nation. I do not rise in opposition to the pending resolution. Rather, I rise to make 2 points. One, in the absence of Chairman Vinson, I wish to outline the major steps which the House Committee on Armed Services has taken to discharge its responsibilities in the field of research and development in the defense establishment. And 2, to advise the members for reasons which I will later state that I will support the resolution. At the invitation of the chairman of the House Committee on Rules, Chairman Vinson appeared before this committee on Tuesday, August 13th, to discuss the resolution now before the House and to outline its relationship to the current activities and responsibilities of the House Committee on Armed Services in the field of research and development. It is pertinent that I now review for the members of the House the principal points which he made in his appearance before the Rules Committee. At the present time, the total annual federal expenditure on research and development programs is approximately $14 billion. And that is the approximate figure submitted to the President's budget message for fiscal 1964. Chairman Vinson pointed out that this should not be construed as an unhealthy development. On the contrary, he said, it is undoubtedly the only way in which we can ensure our defense is in the future. So our objective must not be one which will unduly hamper and restrict research and development efforts. Rather, it is our responsibility to ensure, as Chairman Vinson stated, first, that the funds are devoted to meaningful purposes. Second, that the program within and among the federal agencies be properly coordinated to avoid unwarranted waste and duplication. And third, that their research be terminated when it proves to be unproductive, or, if productive, gives way to the more meaningful application of applied research. I do believe this to be the overriding purpose of the pending resolution, and that is why I should not, in good conscience, oppose it. So far as the House Committee on Armed Services is concerned, it has grown increasingly apparent, admittedly, that the committee would have to take action with reference to military endeavors in the field of research and development. Members will recall that since the 86th Congress, the Armed Services Committees of the House and Senate have been required by statute to report an authorization bill for the appropriation of funds for the procurement of all missiles and aircraft. In the committee's consideration of that legislation, it became obvious, of course, that a large amount of money was involved for research and evaluation. We found that the research and development effort in support of missiles and aircraft amounted to more than $3 billion annually. We did not make that particular discovery this year. We made it early in 1962. As a consequence, the committee requested congressional authority in the Military Construction Act for fiscal 1963 to require an annual authorization for all research and development funds in support of aircraft and naval funds. That legislation was then approved by the committee, by the House Rules Committee, by the House, and became public became public law on April 27, 1962. Under the provision of that law, no funds could be appropriated after December 31st, 1962 for research and development in support of naval vessels unless the appropriation of such funds had been authorized by legislation enacted after that date. In February of this year, when the committee was considering the annual authorization for missiles, ships, and aircraft, we found that the total research and development budget for the defense establishment was more than $7 billion annually. So it was apparent that while we had a statutory responsibility to authorize more than $2 billion of the research and development appropriations, an even greater sum required no similar authorization. Therefore, a decision was made to do two things. First, to appoint a permanent standing subcommittee to deal with research and development in the defense establishment. Chairman Vinson appointed such a committee on February 13th of this year, naming me as chairman. Secondly, to seek statutory authority which would require an annual authorization for all of the research and development funds of the defense establishment. I shall tell you in a moment what we did.
Too fast.
Too fast?